looked at the back of the boxes of the movies that your children may be watching? Movies are showing vivid images that could be frightening to children or even have an influence on what the child thinks they may or may not be able to do. And parents should be more informed of what their children should be watching. Based on the information that I will give about the different movies that children should or even could have already watched, the parent needs to be more informed about what their children are watching. Toy Story, for example. Toy Story shows a young boy named Sid. He takes toys and blows them up. Now, this is showing children that they are able to use explosives on their own toys. Children's movies can help them develop their own personalities, and it is said by the Association for National Psychology that movies can bring together a common place for both parents and the children. Children can sit and mingle and watch TV with their friends, as well as parents can sit and mingle with their friends. But what it isn't is that parents aren't watching what their children should be watching. When children watch these movies with princesses or even action-packed movies for boys, the movies are brightening their imagination with the idea that they could possibly one day be a princess or a spaceman. Children who watch these movies are able to play by themselves because they can make their imagination come to life and be able to have vivid images from the movies to play along with. Parents are able to sit with their children, should be able to sit with their children and watch the movies and understand and be able to explain to their children what these movies are actually talking about. According to Amy Tompkins, she did a study saying that children should be limited to their exposure of violence in such movies as The Incredibles, where a family of superheroes goes around fighting villains. There's also The Lion King. The Lion King shows the death of one of the main characters. Then there's Peter Pan. Peter Pan and Captain Hook get into sword fights that shows children that they can fight with swords and play with one another like this. The media is making it hard for children to watch these movies, for they are showing them many violent scenes that could be affecting them today. Like recently, Monsters Inc. came into play with Randall, the little purple guy, strangling the big blue guy, Sully. This is showing children that they can maybe strangle their brother and everything will be okay, when the parents should be standing back and looking and explaining to their child that they can't be doing this. Also, according to Tompkins, that over 60% of the things that our children are watching have violent scenes in them. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Little girls are thinking that they can be a princess, but are showing that they are bad people out there in the world, but that even themselves can be acceptable to people like the Bad Witch and can be poisoned and die from that. Many kids are being accepted to Chucky. Chucky is a play doll who comes to life and ends up killing his victims. He kills young people. And then you have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. More and more young kids between the ages of 5 and 13 are coming to school talking about these violent scenes that they saw. Most of the movies that children are seeing these days are showing them stunts or acts that they can do, and it is having a dramatic consequence on that child. In Tompkins' research, she has said that the Academy of Pediatrics says more than 1,000 specific studies and reviews conclude that a significant exposure of media violence increases the risk of aggravated behavior in certain children. More recently, Batman came out with the Joker, and him with his Two-Faced, being how he is named, he was going around killing people. An innocent child cartoon has turned into more violent scenes like this. Another example of what could be shown is students from Columbine, that happened at Columbine, said that the two boys that did this act were spending way too much time in front of their video games, showing them the acts, which portrayed into their real lives, and this is how that incident happened. Another study that Amy Tompkins did said some will argue, though, that the real effects is so small that in fact one hypothesis suggests that exposure to media violence can actually provide a healthy release for the frightening emotions of children and young adults. I personally don't understand how one can sit and watch violent scenes and not portray them to their own life. Some children will think that they can do these violent acts, and because Mike Wazowski gets up in the end, that, oh, my little brother or sister's going to get up in the end too. What I'm trying to inform you of is that parents should monitor what their children are watching. And this is one of the big reasons why children turn to gun acts at school and acting out and calling their parents these names, because our media is showing this to them. With my conclusion, I want to say that movies are having more and more psychological effects on our children of today, and movies are starting to form who our children are going to be of tomorrow. All I can say is that parents should start looking at what their children are watching and be more informed of what they are saying.